Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. So recently, Travis Yonker, the blogger at 100 Scope Notes.
Our friend Travis.
Yeah.
We've
met him and we have video proof.
Exactly. We have video proof that we are friends with Travis Yonker. Yeah. That makes me kind of warm and fuzzy inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Our friend Travis.
recently tweeted, he, a couple years ago, served on the Caldecott Medal Committee,
mm-hmm.
and it's still, even though it's been a couple years, there's still stuff that he had to censor out, which is interesting, but he posted some of his journaling from that time, which I thought was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me that before I worked in publishing, I had very little knowledge of how the award system works.
So how did you think, like these big awards, like the Newbery and Caldecott, before you got into publishing, how did you think these books were chosen?
Well, also, here's the other thing. I think I'd only ever heard of the Newbery and the Caldecott before, like, pre-publishing industry. But I hadn't put a lot of thought into it, but I kind of figured, like, there's some person, maybe committee, that regularly represents these medals,
mm-hmm.
and they're just, like, aware of everything in the criteria range of their award, and they're like, this book is getting a lot of buzz, I'm gonna read that. Or, I don't know, somehow they know everything that's getting published, and then they're like, here's the award, this is a good book.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of, like, I actually had a similar vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had this idea in my head of this omnipotent committee that, like, this is their job, right? This is what they get paid to do, to judge picture books. Like, and it's, it's the same committee every year until, like, one of them dies. I had it working like the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to have a job where you read all day, this is your job, to sit on this committee.
Yeah, exactly. And, they're all, like, renowned experts in the field and everything. And, yeah, they just, they look at all of the books in the bookstore, they read everything, and then they just decide this one.
Turns out it's a little less magical than that.
Yeah.
There's not omnipotent people. But I was surprised to learn that publishers submit their own books for awards,
mm-hmm.
which seems kind of selfish, but yet I don't know how else it would be done.
Yeah.
So yes, what really happens, we have a huge database of all the awards that we know of,
mm-hmm.
and
these aren't just, like, the big awards. Like, there are a lot of tiny awards that we still submit to.
Yeah, there's a lot of very specific state awards, there's very specific genre awards.
Yeah, there's reading lists, and there's, like, just, I feel like every kind of reading organization in the country has some kind of award.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I mean, that's a job in and of itself, is keeping track of all of these and submitting to all of these.
And new awards come up, like, just this week,
mm-hmm.
Hallmark started their own book award.
Yeah, and Hollins University is doing the Margaret Wise Brown Award, so that's starting up new, too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have this huge database that has all of these awards with all of their different criteria. Some of the criteria is very specific.
Mm-hmm.
Some awards have to have an American author, some awards can't have an American author.
Mm-hmm. So
it's really interesting. But yeah, we have a wonderful team of people that goes through these, submits awards, so they, fill out the paperwork and they send books to the committee members, and
then we wait.
And the committee members have a whole year.
Yeah, I always say that, like, the hard part is the waiting, but the hard part is probably actually for the committee who has to read, engage all of these things, because, like, I don't think, do they get paid to do this?
I'm not sure if they get paid, but this certainly is not their full-time job.
No, that's it. Like, these people are living their normal lives, plus also reading 800 extra books a year and judging them and deciding which one should be proclaimed the best.
At least if it's the Caldecott, probably most of the books are picture books.
But can you imagine reading 800
That's still
novels?
A lot of, yeah. I can't believe that.
Nope. And the committee's different every year. So, I mean, when you submit these books, like, it would be so great if it was the same committee and you could just, like, tailor your books to exactly their
what
tastes.
They've chosen before.
Exactly, yeah. But, I mean, and that's probably exactly why they don't have one committee.
Yeah. Yeah, so it depends on the thoughts of that specific year's committee, and it depends on how that committee interprets the criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just for instance, when we talked about Last Stop on Market Street winning the Newbery, a lot of people thought that the Newbery should not be interpreted as to have a picture book win.
Right. Yeah, people, like, there were a lot of people who complained that they hadn't chosen a full novel.
Right. And it's possible that those people could have been on the committee and it wouldn't have gotten chosen. So.
Yeah, exactly. If all of those like-minded people had happened to be on the committee, there's no way that would have happened. So it is interesting to see how it changes year to year and, like, try and guess how that reflects their own ideas about the children's publishing world.
Yeah. Other than that, there's actually a lot that we don't know about what goes on in the committee because it's, of course, very hush-hush. It seems like once you're on the committee, like if it's your first year, you don't know fully what to expect either. You know you have to read a lot. But I thought it was interesting that Travis included in his post that he picked up a lot of books about, like he reread a lot of books about reviewing and just what's expected from children's books and what makes good illustrations. And I just thought that was really interesting that I wouldn't have thought of that reading in addition to the actual nominees.
Right. Well, you especially wouldn't expect that kind of reading from someone who habitually reviews books.
Exactly.
You know, like you expect that if, you know, someone is a professor or something like that of children's literature, you know, and they read books and they teach classes about books, but they don't necessarily write book reviews.
Right.
So, yeah, but I was surprised by that too. And I was still surprised by, like, how much he still had to block out even after, you know, a few years had gone by.
Right.
Like, it makes me think of, like, my grandpa who worked in counterintelligence and, like, still can't tell us what he did during Nam.
So crazy.
Like, that's what this is like, though. Oh, man. It's like the children's lit equivalent of the Skull and Bones Society, really. There's just,
basically.
There's so much that you don't know, and so much that's just rumors.
Yeah.
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 I do hear the snacks are amazing.
I wish, you know, if I could be a fly on the wall in those committees, I would really want to know what books get passionately discussed that we don't hear about.
Yeah.
We hear about, like, the medal winner, and then if the committee decides to honor more books, then we hear about the honor books. But what else goes on? What were the almost books?
Right, that's it. What were the books that just got passed up for the honor? Or, you know, maybe there were one or two people on the committee who really loved this one book, but there wasn't a majority consensus, and so, like, it fell off in the first round. You know, I wonder about that, too.
I thought it was interesting. I can link to this below. The ELSC website, so that's the American
Library Service for Children.
So they run a lot of these big awards that you've heard of. And their page describing the Newbery medal is actually pretty detailed. There's still obviously a lot of the discussions that we won't know that goes on, but they specify how you develop a point system for voting for the Newbery Award. And the award winner has to be at least 8 points higher than any honors, I think. So they do specify a jump there, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But that's just for the Newbery. Who knows what other people do?
So despite everything that we don't know, what we do know is that each committee devotes a ton of time and effort and thought into choosing these winners and honor books. And, you know, I think it's important to take that seriously. And I'm not just saying that because we have a lot of award winners on our list. But I do, like, because these are reading recommendations from these experts in the field of children's publishing. So, like, you know, of course it's good to pay attention to those. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I think there's something really great about finding and falling in love with a book that has never gotten any attention. You know, a book that no one else has heard of, that hasn't won any awards, like finding like a diamond in the rough, you know?
Yeah. And if you like something that year's committee didn't like, that doesn't diminish your opinion at all, you know?
Right, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, these committees are filled with people with their own ideas and opinions, and, like, yes, they're experts and they definitely have very valid viewpoints and everything, but, like, they can't tell you what to like, you know?
I think it's not a perfect system for awards, but I'm not sure how I would make it better.
You would just need, like, thousands of really specific awards. Like best book about a dog in which the pet doesn't die.
Yes.
Like, that could be an award.
Of 2016.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you have a favorite book that doesn't get recognized, you know, feel free to print your own sticker, put it on your own copy.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slap, like, best book about a dog that doesn't die on the cover. So if you have a favorite book that is also an award winner, or not an award winner.
Maybe you were really bummed that your favorite book did not win an award.
Yeah, if your favorite book got snubbed, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, or on Twitter, we are at CoffeeBreakEBYR. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See, when my cup is only half full, it makes me bolder. Like I can take risks with it without sloshing on myself.